1966, and the game is on. The drama.
The World Cup is one frantic minute out of reach.
The controversy.
It's a goal!
The victory.
They think it's all over. It is.
Well, I knew a lot of the players who came from Essex and East London, Hurst, Peters, Moore, Greaves, Venables, all of those sort of players I played against in schoolboy football. I actually marked Bobby Moore for my district against his district of Barking. I was playing for Romford district. I was left half and he was inside right in those days, he was a forward, so he was a little chubby blonde guy. And he was quite well known, but he was obviously an outstanding footballer then. So I actually marked him in that match. And at one time, I played alongside Martin Peters. Martin Peters, he was 1 year younger than me, and he was already an England schoolboy international. He was 15, I was 16, and we played in the same youth team at Dagenham. And Jeff Hurst, I knew Jeff Hurst. Because I played for a while at Dagenham, and Dagenham had a reciprocal arrangement with West Ham over physiotherapy for injuries. So I used to go along there to the Rob Jenkins, the physio at West Ham, lie on the couch and be treated, and alongside me would be Jeff Hurst nearly every day in there for massage on his back because he always had a back problem.
Oh, it's very easy because it was my 16th birthday 50 years ago, and I wasn't allowed to have a birthday party because my father wanted to see the match on TV with his mates and my uncle and so on. So I stayed at home, watched football as well because I was very addicted to football in those days.
I was in Manchester. I was only 7 at the time. We'd just recently got a TV set, not that long before the World Cup, of course.
Well, I wasn't born.
He wasn't even a twinkle in my eye at that stage. But I was playing cricket in Southend in Essex. I was born and brought up in Essex and East London. I was a bowler, so the scores were being relayed to us during the afternoon.
Well, unfortunately, it's one of those days. It's one of these times when I wish I was actually a little bit older than I actually am. I was about 3.5 years old, and my dad reminds me so many times that I sat and watched the game on his knee on a black and white television on the family holiday in a caravan in Mablethorpe.
I was in an international holiday camp in the Black Forest, so there were lots of continental Europeans, and we all watched the match together, and it was like, in the end, England won. No discussions about that third goal, and international camp means there are lots of flags, and in the end the British one was put on top, and it was a party.
Dad was in an actual state of nerves. He was virtually watching with Mum's giving his tea and he couldn't hold the tea on the thing that was there. I think it touched a lot of people, to be quite honest. I think it was because of the basis, because I don't think people really did feel that England were going to win it because of the other sides that were in it.
Because I was on my own, there was nobody around to sort of generate any atmosphere, so any atmosphere was generated on the TV. But I actually just, after they'd lifted the trophy and they'd done their lap of honour, I just went out onto the street, as did all the other kids on the street as well, and we just had a mass big game of football.
My dad actually did tell me that he had the chance of getting a ticket to go to the match, but he said he didn't want to go, which really surprised me because he liked his football. He was an Arsenal supporter and that. But I said, why? He said, I just wanted to be with the family.
The Jeff Hurst goal, the second one, the one that hit the bar and went over the line, let's say, was my first jump out the seat moment. As I said, there's been a few since, but that was the very first one when it was. And just looking at it now again, it was definitely over the line. And just as I remember seeing it, it's a definite goal.
From what I can remember, I was a 10-year-old boy. I was sat on the sofa at home. I remember my mum being there. I can't remember where my sister was, she was only 9, and I sat watching it, and of course it was about the first ever football match I watched it proper, all the way through, obviously. Black and white in them days, of course.
Despite the fact that I've lived in Nottingham, or my spiritual home has been Nottingham. I was born in Romford as well, and it comes as no surprise to you that I've had to end up a West Ham fan. Actually, we've had some great time supporting West Ham, but yes, the truth is, my mum got bullied into calling me Jeffrey. Is it fair to say that you just kept calling me Jeff when she was calling me Andrew or something like that?
Yes, his name is actually Andrew Jeffrey Baker. And my other son, Jeff's younger brother, is Robert, who is Bobby, and he's cricketing this afternoon. He's known as Bobby on the cricket field, and the bar down at the cricket club at Keyworth is Bobby's bar. So, yeah, we keep the names perpetuated. My wife decided she didn't want a third when I said that the next one would be named Trevor.
Well, your country or your people started football, really. You're the home of football. And nowadays it's the big clubs, and many of those clubs buy German players, and it's a very different situation to 1966. Those were the days of football.